Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Whiskey Sour Libations and Conversations. I'm your host, Dom. Before we get the show on the road and I introduce our guest, I just wanted to remind you guys not about the booty, candles, candles. Uh, saint-angelus.com/candles. Get your candles. It's Father's Day coming up. I know your daddy house probably smell like a gym locker room or, dirty gym socks or something, and maybe it doesn't. And maybe your dad is very clean and you want to keep, the aesthetics flowing. And so, add some essence to his life. My candles are a vibe, just like me. So make sure y'all cop the candles, okay? This week's episode is also not sponsored by Jack Daniels whiskey. Every week I'm gonna call out what whiskey I'm drinking until we get a sponsor. Okay. So I would like to bring in a hilariously funny guy that I've met on Twitter. We're friends on Twitter. We friends now. We Twitter friends. Okay. The internet has allowed us this space to meet so many people that we might not have never even, crossed paths with. And Twitter has done that for me. And Twitter is something that I would never, ever, ever let go of because every day it's like what y'all wake up, what we talking about today. So without further ado, I would like to bring in Mr. Will G.
Hey,
What's
hey, hey,
up?
hey, what's going on? What's going on?
These sinuses is what's going
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear
Sinuses
that.
literally kicked my ass all Memorial Day weekend. There was no turn up. There was no
No,
beach day.
no,
And
bless
I
your
was like
heart.
drugged up. I had a brief window where I was not high from the medicine that I was on
Mm,
to go to my homeboy's house and get some food. And then I was like, okay. So now I feel like the high is like coming back around
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second time. I was like, I got to go. So yeah, here I am. And now my nose is running. I'm like, the fuck.
Mm,
So what's
man.
up, baby? What it do, baby
Hey,
boo?
what's going on? First of all, let me say thank you for having me on here. This is like I've never done a podcast before, so you like the first person
Really?
to
Oh,
ever ask me. So I was a little nervous today. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to say? I hope I ain't messing up or sound stupid or whatever. So I thank you for having me on. It's an honor and a privilege to be on here. So thank you for having me.
welcome, welcome. I am popping your podcast cherry. Welcome. I am so
Yes.
excited
Yes.
because I want everybody to know that every day I look forward to seeing Will's tweets
Oh,
and what has he retweeted? What has gone viral? Because you go viral fairly often.
yeah, I do
And
a decent amount.
and what's also interesting is that you have all these followers. Like I feel like Twitter is probably the hardest place to build a following. And whereas because it has to be clever, whereas
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook, you can visually see for the most part what's happening.
Yeah.
Everything always is attached to a photo or a video.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes I say some funny shit that should be like taken off. And
You
nobody
very
even
funny.
retweet that shit. I said, so
You
everybody,
very
the whole
funny.
timeline quiet. Okay. Okay.
You very fun. I tried every time I see you, I try to retweet you because you're very funny. You're very quick witted and clever and all that stuff. So, I try to boost you. I got you. I got you.
Listen,
I'm gonna
I've been
send you to my followers. So I got
listen,
you.
I'm stuck with the same like little 1,300 followers that I've had for the past 11, 12 years, or longer. I've been on Twitter pretty much since Twitter dropped because I had to
Okay.
get on Twitter for a marketing class.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
since then, I'm like, dang, like this the same. Like, I might every now and then get like an additional, and that's the one place that I would love to like have people follow and
Yeah.
engage
Yeah.
because just having the dialogue back and forth, and now you have voice notes. And I
Yeah.
be saying wild shit in my voice notes. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm a fairly funny
You're
person.
funny. You're very funny. You are
So,
very
I
funny.
tried like y'all look, this how funny Will is. I want y'all to see. Hold up.
Man, so I'm always like, because my I guess my tweets get around, so people always Joan and a roasting. You know how we do from St. Louis. We gonna roast. That's what we gonna do.
Yeah.
So somebody I was roasting, and one of my Twitter friends, she actually put that picture as her profile picture. So I was, oh, y'all got jokes. So I'm gonna take it and just my pin tweet. So it's kind of like let people know, like, I don't take myself seriously. Like, you can't really say anything to hurt my feelings. Like, as long as you ain't talking about my wife and kids, I don't care. You can call me anything you want to, because I'm gonna give it back to you. But I don't take myself too seriously. So, I just like to have a good time, laugh, crack jokes, and go from there. So that's what it is.
And that's honestly like that's what we need. I feel like everybody takes everything so seriously nowadays.
They What I've noticed on social media is a lot of people take themselves very seriously, and it's like they have like this particular brand where they have to be this person all the time. And I'm like, I don't take my life is serious enough. We got enough stuff going on in
Right.
the world. Gas prices is out of control. People,
Don't I know? This shit almost $8.
man, look here. I'm about to start selling some butt in a minute to get you.
Which is something that you said today on the
Yes,
timeline.
I mean, y'all laughing, but I got 2 kids. I got mouths to feed, and if this keeps going up, hey, it's gonna be some feet pictures out here. And I got nice feet.
Right.
I wear 15, so
Listen,
so
it's real, and I feel like I think that was also why it was important. Why I started this podcast. The podcast during the pandemic. It actually stemmed from collaborating like with Tahir and seeing Tahir do. He created a nightly talk show,
yeah.
and I always wanted to. I was moved to LA to do entertainment journalism and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, but also fear, battling fear and,
Mm-hmm.
like being in my head sometimes. And I've always been a confident person, but it's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like you worry about the perception of how people will receive it or will they even receive it at all.
Right,
And
right.
so I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I just have to, mash the gas and just go
Step out on
forward.
faith. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And I was like, I want to do something that's different where it's just not like Q&A. I wanted to have dialogues with people and meet people and tell stories. And so that's how
Absolutely.
I got this idea. I'm a little tipsy.
Nothing wrong with that. Drinking. I would be drinking with you, but I told myself I'm trying to, get on this little workout thing, whatever. So I told me and my wife said we're not gonna drink during the week because otherwise I'd have been 2 shots in with my little foo seltzers because I've been drinking a lot of seltzers. I tell them I'm whack. My drinking, I'm a dark drinker. I love whiskey and all that stuff, but I
Yeah.
drink bullshit sometimes, and I just do. I got a little ratchet in me, so I
It's right. What part of St. Louis are you from? And what high
well
school did you go on before we
okay.
proceed?
So I'm from the East Side, 618 all day.
Oh hell no.
See, there
That's
you
not the
go. See,
same.
hey,
Y'all
hold on,
don't
hold
stop
on,
that.
hold on. We gonna do this respectfully because you ain't gonna be talking about me crazy and carrying on. But no, I'm from the East Side originally, so I've been in St. Louis area my whole life, and then I
Okay.
actually moved to this side in 2012 with my wife. Not my wife at my time, she's my girlfriend. We got a place together in U City, and then we
Okay.
bought a house.
You.
There you go. And then we bought typical bought a house in North County. Now, next step is St. Charles, but I refuse because I ain't moving out there. I hate St. Charles. So, hello.
My one of my best friends, they just built a house in St. Charles, and I was like, bitch,
Yeah.
this is fucking far. Like, and I grew up on the west
Yeah,
side, and
right.
and, and it's just different. It's very white,
Yeah,
um, and
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, yeah,
But I just be like, girl, this
yeah.
this is
And I got a couple of partners that's moving out there. It's some black folks out there. Like I get it, but it's just I don't know.
we
It's
trickling
far.
because I feel like a lot of people are starting to move out of North County too, just
Yeah,
because I think that a huge shift happened after Ferguson.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I grew up around those parts. Like it's interesting to see how everything shifts. Like my great aunt and uncle used to live in Canfield back in the day in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of older, retired people, like older, like that lived in that area. And then I
Mm-hmm.
had family, like in Delwood as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's just different. It's different driving down West Florissant now, just
Oh
in
yes.
general. And I just like,
Oh
woof.
yes. Yeah. You get a
I was
little
like,
shit.
I said, did they give it the cityscape fund? Because this grass ain't been cut over here.
Hey, over there looking terrible. Like
I know.
it's
I'm like, is it
man,
snakes in the grass? Like,
man, look, dandelions taller than you. It's like, whoa,
yeah,
what is
it,
happening? Come on.
it's true. It's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But okay, so you like to drink whiskey. What's your favorite? What's your choice of whiskey?
Um,
When you drink whiskey.
when I drink whiskey, I mean, I like Jack. I
Okay.
love Uncle Nearest. You know,
Love Uncle Nearest.
love Uncle Nearest. We all know the story about, he taught Jack Daniels how to
Yeah.
make whiskey, whatever. Of course, black
Yep.
folks always teaching white folks and they take the credit. So whatever. Story of
Uncle
America,
Nearest,
right?
if you guys are listening, I would love to partner and do something great. Sponsor episode or two. It's so smooth.
Very smooth. It sneak up on you. Next thing you know, you like, okay. Let me sit down
Yes.
for a second. But yeah, it's very good. So I love Uncle Nearest. I like Jameson. Um, I do I do the Gentleman Jack sometimes too. But I've
Okay.
always been I like Crown. Everybody like Crown.
Okay. Yeah, we niggas like.
Crown. So
Have you gotten into Tullamore Dew?
I have not.
Try it. That's smooth too. To hear hit me to that. Oh, and we lost Will. Hopefully, he'll be back in soon. But while we're here, as you can see, I am debuting a new look. I have cut all the blonde out of my hair. And yeah, we're rocking the natural hair color. My hair is naturally black, and I have not seen my hair color probably in about 20 years. Welcome back.
I was like, oh Lord, did we pay the bill? Okay, let me
Uh,
check. Okay,
and, uh,
like, oh Lord, here we go.
but Tullamore Dew is it's smooth. To hear shout out to Tahir has hit me to Tullamore Dew, and it's a vibe. It's a
Okay,
vibe.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Like I
we
said,
don't have to get you that.
yeah, and like I said, I just be on some ratchet stuff. I be on Capriccio sometime, and
You are from East St. Louis, so
yeah, see there,
expected.
y'all. Here you
So
go.
and for the people we
Wow.
and I know a lot of you the listeners know, but some of you guys don't. East St. Louis is in Illinois, St. Louis is in Missouri. So and there's a bridge, the Mississippi River, that you have to cross the Mississippi to get to East St. Louis. So I want to let y'all know. So it's a difference, and but I will give y'all this. At one point, East St. Louis was one of the most affluent black cities in America, and something similar to East St. Louis that happened to Tulsa. So I do know my history, and I know
Mhm.
that's what happened. We had some, like you said, we had our thing, and
Mhm.
they came through and was like, "Nah, we
Right,
want you
every
niggas in the
time.
projects."
Story of
So
America, man. You know how they do. Take over everything. Don't want us to have nothing.
but then don't want us but then don't want to be involved with us. So it's just like, yo, like
It's
we be
weird.
thriving and surviving, and
Right.
then y'all just
Like, just leave us alone, but you
leave us
can't do
alone.
that. Like, you won't even do that. Like, it's a trip. It's a mess. It's country. I hate it. I
I
ain't going
hate
nowhere, but I hate it.
it. Right. Contrary to popular belief. I will say that recently, when I was in Paris back in April, I forgot that I lived in America. I always
Yeah, right.
forget. And I was like, oh damn, I gotta go home and go to work.
Mm,
So
mm.
I'm like, but that's always been a goal of mine too, is to have a place there. I enjoy Paris so much, but I want to start to kick some Twitter shit with you.
Hey, let's do it.
One of the topics that I want to cover, because I believe you also retweeted this as well, is there was a post on the 28th of May regarding Travis Kelsey and his girlfriend breaking up. And then the headline was that Travis Kelsey's girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, allegedly broke up with him because he kept making her pay half of everything in the 5 years they were dating.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I know I made a joke about that. I was like, "Oh, your Alabaster King is a cheapskate," which I don't, who knows what the story is. I mean, it was just, it's probably not even true. I know she came out and said that's not even true or whatever, but you know how the internet go. It's going, that little bit of they run with it, and then the jokes start flying, and by that point, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's gonna get everybody gonna get jokes, especially in that type of situation where that kind of
right, right,
thing comes out, where it's like somebody being cheap and not spending money or whatever, blah blah
right.
blah, and it's like, all right, like I said, everybody got my joke in, but who knows if it's, I doubt very seriously that's even true. I don't think she would put up for 5 years
Five
or
years,
whatever
exactly.
with him being cheap, and we've never heard that, but you know how it goes. And these blogs start putting out links or something, and people run with it. So that's the internet. That's how it go, and people don't care about the truth. Whatever is funny or the joke is. So
Everything
yeah,
is sensationalism and clickbaits. And it was interesting because that headline actually started with like Barstool Sports. That's where the headline came from, and everybody, which is they're kind of known as a reputable source.
right.
So that's how it kind of took the internet by storm. But I looked at it as a interesting way, as a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Kayla is clearly Black. I think they met on a dating show that he had on E, but I could be wrong. I know he
Mm-hmm.
had a dating show years ago, but I know I think he picked a Black girl, but not surprised because the way
Right.
he dresses
Right.
and acts
You
sometimes.
know.
But I felt like this. There is, and we see it happen a lot on Twitter. Um, And she did follow up and say that, not sure where y'all got this nonsense from, but it's absurd and very false. Like you said, I would not assume that she would stay with somebody that is constantly making her split the bill.
Right. Right.
I wouldn't. You not listen. You asking me on the first date, I'm not splitting nothing. I'll tell you a quick
Nothing.
story.
Right.
Before I tell you my point, I remember that actually happened to me. I had been dating this guy, a white guy, older white guy, off and on for
Mm.
some years. And we met at a basketball game, and he's a developer, like a real estate developer.
Okay.
And so the final time that he asked me out, I had sent him, he had meetings in downtown. I don't live far from downtown LA. And so I sent him some restaurants in the area or whatever where, he wanted to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And he followed up like the day of asking me where we going Dutch.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
Mm-mm.
He's like, yeah, I'm
No.
looking at the cost of like the food at Manuela, and this is kind of, and I said, sir, take care. Because in the history of us, when we were dating, we never went Dutch. Like, you have paid my bills, you've bought
Right.
me nice things. The second or third weekend after we had even met, we flew to OKC on a whim, and we went to a playoff game.
Oh wow,
So
y'all doing it.
yeah, so I'm like, I'm not splitting no. The average cost of a salad in LA is about $12 or $13.
Right. Right. Wow.
I said,
That's
and
awful.
I hit him with the block.
Got to. You got to go, baby.
Right.
Wow.
So I know for five she was not doing that. And so
Right.
I feel like there's this weird fascination with making Black women suffer, or wanting to see them suffer. Like, I feel like people feel like we're not entitled
To
to
nice
having
things. Yeah,
certain,
definitely.
like nice things. Like, you always see the hashtag normalize luxury, like Black women
Luxury.
normalizing luxury and all these things. And a lot of it comes out of our pockets too. Everybody don't have, men that are like well off or whatever that
Right.
can invest in certain things. Like, a lot of us are getting it out the mud. And it's like, Why can't I just enjoy something nice?
And then I think that's just presented. That's just how society presents black women to the masses as
Mhm.
being subservient, working harder than everybody, being strong, whatever. And it's like, well, I'm strong because I have to be, not because I really want to
What?
be. And
Yeah,
the whole, that's another conversation about, the whole, black men in jail or, absent and all that stuff, whatever. And, black women taking the role of,
yeah,
that role and stuff. So, and I think, how, especially with white women thinking they're God's gift to everybody. So of course, when they seeing a black woman getting something, they're going to be upset. And I think also too with, even in black men, like you were, and that's, I think you were kind of alluding to about that post. And it's like a lot of these, let's just call it what it is, lame ass dudes,
yeah,
they love to see that. Oh yeah,
yeah,
he told her, blah blah blah. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, why would
yeah.
you even want that for her? Like, you know what I mean? That's your black queen. Why would you want her to be mistreated? And like I said, that's just lame niggas, lame, whack, insecure. We call them incels or whatever the hell y'all call them, whatever. And they just get off on women being humbled. They don't like women.
They
They,
don't like a lot of, and that's what I
you
was gonna
know,
say. I was like, a lot of people, a lot of black men, not all of them, but a lot of hot takes or dialogues that we see happening. They hate that. They hate their mothers.
yeah,
I am so convinced that
yeah,
they hate their mothers.
yeah,
And so they want us to suffer because they were lacking something from their mom, instead of like figuring out, oh, this was my experience when I date a black woman. Half of them don't date us anyway. And that's cool. I want you no way.
yeah.
But feeling like it does like the adverse. So they're jerks and dicks to us. And there
Mhm.
was one time I was having a conversation. I was with my homeboy. He hit me up, and I met him somewhere like at a studio, and we were like kicking shit and talking. And his homeboy was so aggressive to me.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, and I was just very confused. Like, I just walked into this space, I didn't do anything. And I
Mhm.
kind of felt like he was cock blocking,
Yeah.
for the most part. But I was just
Yeah.
like, and it was another time, like, I'm sounding how I am now with the sinus issue. So
Yeah.
at that point, I didn't even have my contacts in, my eyes were itchy. So I had like my red glasses on, and
Mhm.
like, like I had came from like a birthday dinner. So I
Yeah.
looked like fairly nice, but then and he was just, I was like, what is your deal like with me?
Yeah.
Like, you just met me, you're like automatically attacking. But there are a lot of black men do that to black women a lot of times. And
Mhm.
I feel like I was explaining to my guy yesterday, I was like, I feel like there's this disconnect. Like, you guys feel like we feel this way about you when it's really not like that at all.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I'm like, y'all, I say black men have like this chip on their shoulder about something that somebody has said and has trickled down to the masses. And now it's like, well, we feel like black women don't allow us this space um to like be ourselves and lead, and we have to deal with all the masses. And I'm like, nigga, we are equal.
Yeah. Right. There you go.
I was
Yeah.
like, when it really comes down
Thank
to it, a lot
you.
of the shit
Yeah.
that y'all go through, yes, you are experiencing it from the perspective of a man. But
Mhm.
we kind of really get the really short end of the stick, because at the end of the day, you are still a man, and so still with that comes a
A
little amount
little
of
bit of
privilege.
privilege. And I've had that conversation with a lot of my homeboys, and they didn't really
Mhm.
understand it because, like, oh, black men, we're mistreated. And we are, of course, we're black people. So, of course, we're
Yeah.
mistreated. But as a man, you still have a slight privilege. It's not
Yeah.
no gargantuan thing to where you can be absolved of, like a white man, but
Right.
you have a certain privilege.
Yep.
And you have to recognize, and I think that's a lot of the struggle when you see on Twitter too. A lot of these conversations are a lot of people, a lot of black men don't understand that they have a little bit of a privilege. And when you have black women, not, and it's not necessarily men bashing, but it's like
Mhm.
a lot letting you know there issues with black men. It's not, black women have always stood by black men. They still, even
Mm-hmm.
when they feel mistreated, they still stand by black men.
Yep. Yep.
So it's just a constant dialogue. I feel like that's why I love Twitter, because it was a lot of stuff I just didn't even think about as a man to a
Yeah.
woman. I didn't even think about these things, and I'm not even talking about like, yes, I have a mother, yes, I have, but I mean, I'm still not a woman, so I don't think of that on the daily basis. It's kind of the same way that black women talk to black men and air out their frustrations. That's the same way you niggas talking to the white man and they ignore you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being so defensive, we need to start listening and be like, oh, okay, I didn't know you felt like this. What can I do to make this not happen? This is a
Right.
therapist in me talk, because I've been in therapy. But,
I love it. I love it.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? And it's basically where the ego has to die. And that's what a lot of black men have, is ego. And it's like, oh, if I, and it's like, and we're not taught that stuff. So it's like, especially growing up, we're always
Mm-hmm.
taught to be tough and strong and no emotions and all these things. So you got a lot of these niggas out here just really grown little boys,
Yep.
and they don't know what the hell to do. They don't know how to process anything, listen to anything, communicate or anything. So it's just, you see it every day you see it every day on Twitter. Like,
Yeah. It's some days it's exhausting, and I say I'm gonna leave and come back on my lunch break and see what happens,
yeah,
because I think there's certain things I think, you know, across the board where it's like, I'm in the space of, okay, so when are we gonna all realize that we all got shit that we can work on, and when are we gonna have a conversation to collectively make our like our people better?
yeah,
Because this divisiveness, like, yes, we know, like, you've said this or this person has said this has come up so many times, so let's figure out a solution.
right. When we gonna come together? And I think nobody's perfect. There's things that black women probably have to work on as well.
Yeah.
But I guess if we just, the first thing is you have to admit that you have a problem, and
Yeah.
until we get to the point where, hey, our queens feel like they're being disrespected by us, how do
Yeah.
we start acknowledging that? And I feel like I feel like social media has. I
Yeah.
feel like black women have started to get an outlet. It's nowhere near perfect. We're nowhere near the finish line, but I feel like black women are finally getting a voice to voice their displeasure about everything,
Yeah.
like, and it was like stuff I was like, damn. I think my mom, she was so strong. She was so strong. It's like, damn, she had to be. It's probably a lot of nights she was crying, and they didn't let
Yeah,
you
it's
see all that.
heavy.
And I think that comes back to a lot when you was talking about the men and their mothers. Well, my mother was super strong, and she hated that shit. She didn't want to be by herself. She
Yep.
wanted a man. She didn't want to do that shit. She was crying every night when you went to bed, and you didn't even know. And then when you woke up, everything was great. And a lot of black men probably had it. Well, my mama did it. You can't know. She shouldn't
Yeah.
have to do that. She shouldn't have
Yep.
had to go through that. She didn't want to go through that. So.
No, that's I think you hit it the nail on the head, because I think that a lot of men are not aware of the sacrifices and the things that their mothers went through in order for them to just survive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of things are owed to black mothers in particular, just because of how the system and how it was set up and
Mhm.
put in place for them to fail, and we always survive and
Always.
push through. And so I think that's why also I get confused when even if a guy per se does have a healthy relationship with their mother, it's always baffling to me when I see somebody slandering like black women on the internet. I'm like, if you're
Yeah.
saying this,
Yeah.
I don't understand, because your mother,
As a black
if she
woman.
heard you say this, I think would be appalled and so
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and I think in the earlier days of Twitter, it was a lot of that going on, and I feel like, who knows, somebody probably pull up a tweet of mine. I may have said something out the way,
Let's
and
see. To
oh
no.
Lord, right? That's my fear. Like, oh, I said something stupid. Maybe not even, it wasn't even the context, but yeah, it was a lot of jokes and stuff. And there's certain jokes, as crazy as I am on that, there's a whole lot of stuff I just kind of stay away from because I'm not trying to deal with that. I never wanted to be disrespectful to anybody. I want
Yeah.
everybody to laugh. The only time I get at these niggas is like when they coming at me, all right? And it's something I said in general, and they come in trying to be funny. It's like, I got time today. I'm a loser. I don't have a life, so I got all the time in the world. I'm a
What
neglect.
are some of the conversations that you like you don't that you want to stay away from?
A lot of times, like like it depends on like I'm very sensitive to black women. Apparently I'm on Twitter I'm the panderer, but it's like I'm just like I look at women as human beings. That's all it is. Women are human beings. They want to be treated like respect.
Yeah,
That's not a hard concept. It's like treat others how you want to be treated.
exactly, exactly.
Certain,
It's really that simple.
if you're being ridiculous, if you just happen to be a black woman, I'm a joke. But I'm not gonna be, skin color or tone or anything that stupid stuff. I stay away from rape jokes. That's not funny at all to me. Try domestic violence stuff. Just certain
Definitely not funny.
topics.
Yeah,
I stay away from. I don't make fun of your kids because I got kids. I got kids in my head, and people try to get slick, and I'll be blocked. I don't even go back and forth with you. You're not gonna talk about my kids. You're not gonna.
yeah.
We're not because I'll pull up. That's I
You're
mean
from East
that's
St.
anybody.
Louis. You definitely will. I
I'll
believe you
pull
on
up like
that.
that ain't. I don't disrespect, and I don't disrespect nobody kids because any parent will tell you you don't. That's off limits. And my
Yeah,
wife,
I think kids are off limits
right.
to a certain degree
Here you go. Okay, you gotta explain this.
because just like I mean, I saw today. You mentioned that you wasn't going to talk about Ti's son because
Yeah.
somebody said that King looked like a garlic knot, and when I
Oh
tell
my
you,
god, I was crying laughing because that shit was funny as hell. Like, get it twisted. There's some shit that said and I got a sick sense of humor. I'll just like laugh at it and keep it 100 because people, why would you retweet that? Because it was funny. First
it
off,
was
I
fun.
didn't
It
say
was
it.
hilarious.
Go get mad at them. I didn't say it, motherfucker. Why would you put that on my timeline? Because I felt like it. Nigga, when you start contributing to this mortgage, then you can tell me how to tweet and retweet. But I didn't say it. Go get with him. You
Yeah.
disappointed me. Oh well. Right. I don't give a fuck about that shit. But no, but like, yeah, that shit was hilarious. They was going in. I seen, man, I'm trying to think of what they say. He looked like the garlic knot, but oh my god, somebody just retweeted a while ago, and I was cracking up laughing because it was funny. But like I said, I'll stay away from it because
I get it. I get it. Because you like, I
got
got kids, so it's a little different. It's a little.
and,
I have a
and this is
dog.
right. Excuse me, but I just stayed away because I got kids, and I'm just like, he's a dumb 17-year-old. I'm not excusing what he did; he was wrong.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just like, whatever. Now I can talk about his dumbass daddy and his goofy ass mama.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
I just kind of stay away from the young kids. I like whatever. When he turned 18, it's fair game. I'm gonna get his ass. But he's 17. I'll let it go.
That's I mean, it's just always like interesting to when you see like people like how people respond to certain things or how left it can go like really really fast.
Man.
But that's what's like sometimes I feel like kids can be fair game because like I told my homegirl, I was like kids can be bitches. So sometimes they just what you tried it today. I got time for you, little badass.
I got a 1-year-old that's a complete asshole. I love her to death.
Really?
She's an asshole.
When's the 1-year-old's birthday? Let's.
She's August 11th.
Oh shit! You got a Leo, of course.
An extra ass Leo, just like
Yeah.
all my other friends that are Leos. And I'm like, what? She an asshole. I love her to death. Man, she's an asshole. And she be going through like I call her my Sour Patch Kid because she really do. Like some days she like me. We cool, we dap up, it's all good. We do our GD handshake. And then, the next day it's like she don't even know who I am. She crying like, this daddy. I'm daddy, nigga. What you talking about? I'm daddy. Oh, that's how we playing it? Cool. No fruit snacks for you. Get your own. Go buy your own then. I'll be petty. I'm petty with my kids. You gotta be. This is a petty world. I'm just raising them to be, petty.
It's so funny because I think about the idea of having kids, and I was
Don't.
telling my homegirl today, I at least want one. I'm 35. I at least want one child.
Do
I know
you?
y'all saying that, but it's
This is not what you want. I don't have any more hair to lose. So and I got two girls and I got a wife. I got a house full of women. This is why I'm all this gray coming in. Just stress. I can't
look.
see my hairline trash. I'm down bad. I'm down bad. I'm just playing.
But will like so for me, it's more like I feel like one, I would be a really interesting, dope mom. But then I
Yeah.
think about my childhood, right? And I think about
Mhm.
I was I was I was that kid. I wouldn't say I was a sour patch. I was just sour every day. Like it was like you didn't know I was a menace. And I remember like the person formerly known as my cousin, like their dad, that person's dad, would be like, "Man, you was just so bad." And I was like, I was really good at my grandma Edna's house. So I don't know what you're
Right.
talking about because I was her favorite, like
Mhm.
literally like one of my grandma's favorites.
Mhm.
But I remember my I kicked my sister. I had some cowboy boots, like
Oh, okay.
authentic, and with the metal cap toe. I don't know what she did. I was like, oh bitch, just kick, and then throwing batteries at her, like just
Wow.
something, biting. And I remember one time she made like these chain links and they hung from our bedroom door. She did something to piss me off.
Mhm.
And I just went and grabbed Vaseline and just lined
Wow.
them with Vaseline, hoping that she would get stuck.
Oh my
I got a
goodness.
whooping.
What the are you like? Do you need we need a prayer meeting now? Do we need an intervention? Is there
You
some things
know,
that we need to
I
talk
was just
about?
very, I wouldn't say angry as a child because I mean I really wasn't angry, but I was just like I was
You
very reactive
understand?
as a kid. And um I remember we were jumping on the bed one time and I told my sister this, and for some reason my mom, like the popcorn ceilings, she thought it was
Yeah.
so cool, she brought it down the wall. So
Oh.
her wall, like she had this
Mm.
wall in her bedroom, and I can tell you this day, we were jumping on my mom's bed and my sister pushed me into that wall,
Ooh.
and I called her a punk ass nigga. She was a punk ass nigga for that shit.
That
And she
yeah.
told on me, mind you, she pushed me to the wall.
Uh,
And I got in trouble, and I definitely retaliated after I
mm,
got in trouble. But it was
mm,
just like you caused this. So,
mm.
but as I got older, hitting college, like I wasn't like that anymore. Um, yeah, man, because I went to jail. I went to jail, so
Oh
I had to
wow.
grow up and not
Oh wow.
be reactive
Yeah.
anymore. Jail will do that to you. I'm playing. I went to jail for some traffic shit.
Okay, but it sound like that. I was gonna let her slide. I'm like, oh damn. Okay.
No, and I still shouldn't have went to jail.
Yeah.
But the cop was a jerk. The cop was a
Mm,
jerk, but it's fine.
growth.
Like you know how that goes.
Right.
Um,
I'm an only child, so I didn't get the experience of beating. I bet I fought my cousins a little bit, but I didn't get the overall experience of beating
experience
up
with
a
the
brother.
siblings.
And that's what I love about my kids. And I'm talking crazy, but my oldest is a really sweet child, and she's really
Okay.
sweet to her. She
Aw.
loves her. She's a really great big sister. And like when she gets home from school, my youngest, she's like really excited to see her. Cammy, my oldest daughter
Aw.
is Camden. So she's like, Cammy, and they give each other hugs and kisses and stuff. So
Aw.
it's really sweet. I hope they stay close, as they get older. So I know it's gonna be some teenage years where they're probably not as close. Or my oldest too
Right.
cool for her, but I really do hope they stay close. And I love that relationship because I've always, I was only a child. I'm okay with it now, but when I was younger, you want a brother and sister. And my friends had big families, so it was kind of cool. They had the older brother, younger sister, or whatever, and I'm just,
Hmm.
by myself. So, but
What's their age difference?
She is my oldest is 7,
Okay.
and my youngest is 1. So they're like
Oh wow,
they're
yeah.
almost 6 years apart. I wanted to have one. I wanted to have them closer together, but my wife, she was like, "I like to kick it right now, so I like drinking and
I'm
smoking."
not mad at her for that.
Hey, you can't. Like, hey, we need to get pregnant now. You can't force her to do it. And she, she like, I just want to have a kid. I don't want to be pregnant. So I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna be honest, like that's how I feel.
Yeah,
If it could be
yeah,
like The Sims, and I was like, okay, I'm ready, and
yeah,
then you kiss, and then
yeah.
a carriage, a baby
Then
carriage
bam.
appears,
Yeah,
right? And
right.
but the idea of it is like,
Yeah.
man, I don't.
I have the utmost respect for women when it comes. I don't say nothing. I just did what she told me to do because that is a crazy experience of a woman having a child and the changes that her body goes through.
Yeah,
After that and the postpartum, the emotions. Just everything that like men are so lucky and you Negroes need to shut the fuck up when it comes to that
yeah,
shit because you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
yeah,
Because women go through a lot to have a child. And it's a beautiful experience, but I when she said she wasn't ready, I like, I get it. Okay.
yeah.
Let me know.
No, that's real. And it's funny because when you hit a certain age, and I think it's 35 and up, actually they
Yeah.
call it, they don't say it anymore, but they call it like a geriatric
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pregnancy,
Yeah.
because like the,
That's the
like you could be high, you become high
high
risk.
risk. Yeah.
And I went to the gynecologist the other week, and I had to have like an outpatient surgery, and because these are conversations that we have to have and whatnot. Because I have like a cyst and polyps. And so she's like,
Okay.
well, you want to get those removed before you start trying, and blah, 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 blah. Like, what do you think that's in? I know we pushed it back because of COVID, and then we put it back on the table and you pushed it back again. So what are you thinking? And I'm thinking I don't want to have the surgery at all.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid. But
Yeah.
it's just also, it's like the idea, like, yo, like let's just start with one and
Mhm.
see how it goes,
Yeah.
because I mean, women are having kids like later and later
Oh
now
yeah,
in 30s.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I'm like, I could do one me, and I just like, man, and then I think about like, okay, damn, this is my karma.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh
being
yeah.
slick and saying stuff. I'm like,
Oh,
man, and you want to laugh, and I was like, God damn it, go to your room.
that's how I laugh because like my wife is she's from U City. She thinks she know everything. I love you. I know she gonna watch this, so I love you, babe. I'm talking shit about you, but I love you. Um, but yeah, she got a smart. My mom got a super smart mouth. That's probably one of our biggest things. Smart mouth. So my oldest is a know-it-all. So they go back
Uh-huh.
and forth, and my oldest challenges her all. She don't challenge me at all. She challenges tests her, and my wife stand on it. It ain't like she's some punk or something. She gonna stand on it, but she be testing her all the time, and I'll be like,
That's
um,
hilarious.
that's it's just all. Oh my god, everything debate, everything. Like the sky is blue. Well, actually, it's purple, babe. It's blue. Mom, it's purple. Like they're gonna go back and forth. Just stupid stuff. Stupid.
That was, oh my gosh, that sounds like me as a child. Like I
Yeah.
was very, very loud and boisterous, and I felt like I knew it all. My report cards would say that I needed to be a lawyer. And because I like to talk, I like to debate, all this stuff. And my mom is a lawyer, by the way.
Okay.
And so she was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna go to law school." And I was like, "Bitch, please."
Right.
I
No.
barely want to go to college. I
Yeah.
didn't want to
Right.
go. If it were my way, I would have like went and modeled, like attempted professionally,
Hmm.
and then was like, okay, I now go if this is like no. But my mom would threaten to kick me out if I didn't
Yeah.
go, and I was like,
That
well, I
pressure.
don't want to go to
Yeah.
my dad's house. So
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I gotta go to school. So that's how I ended up at Webster. But man, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
I stayed debating people.
Yeah. She just got a little. She's not super smart mouth, but she just got a challenge stuff. She got that. But I guess we had type A personality. My wife is type A.
Okay.
Control freak. She wants to be, she got to do this, da, 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 this order. And my daughter is the exact same way. Like if I move her doll in the wrong place, Daddy, it's supposed to go over here. And she will not rest until it goes back to where it was. I'm like, all right, little girl, get on my face. You
That's
know what I'm saying? But
that
yeah.
is hilarious.
So that's I got all these grades.
Oh my gosh, that is. Oh my gosh, that has nothing. That is genetics. Don't blame that on your
I'm
family.
blaming it on all these light skinned women in my house.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey, don't come on my show being colorist, okay?
Right. I'm blaming all the light skin. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, I don't stand for that.
Mm,
Now, those are conversations or hot takes on Twitter. I just get irritated
yeah,
because it's really
definitely.
it's really a thing, and it's funny because I remember being a kid and my mom having those conversations with me.
Yeah.
Because my big sister is very high yellow. Like my sister is hella light skinned, and so my mom taught me super early on in
Mm,
elementary school about colorism, and don't allow anybody to her words, not mine.
hmm.
Don't let nobody piss on you.
Yeah.
And because of that, and she would say the same thing to my sister. Everything was a lesson, was like, don't let nobody piss on you. And I'm like, that
Mhm.
sounds very vile, and like my eyes are burning. So
Right. But I had those conversations with my daughter because my wife is mixed, so she's
okay.
light skinned. My
Okay.
daughter is light skinned. She's got her coloring. My
Hmm.
youngest daughter is darker than me. She's dark skinned,
Okay.
and they're like it's almost like what's that Lovecraft Country
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Letty
Yeah.
and Ruby. That's
That's
how they
how we
look.
are. Yeah.
That's how they look. So it's very. So I'm always thinking about like my oldest is light skinned. She's got beautiful hair, hazel eyes, and my youngest is darker skin. She's darker skin. She's got her hair texture is different. They're both beautiful to me, both cute. And I really try to like, you're beautiful, but I really, especially my youngest, and I know she's one, but I tell her all the time, you're pretty, you're beautiful, because I know how dark skin is treated.
And how society is. Yep.
My dad was dark skinned. My mom is red bone.
Hmm.
And I'm in between or whatever. And what about us? It's always light and dark. What about the waffle color, caramel colored
I
Negro? What we supposed to do?
you
Where's our the Will
it's
Smith
funny you
looking
say
nigga?
that. I had a weird experience with the guy. I remember I had a crush on this guy when I worked at my first job that took taxes out my check. I worked at Six Flags. I was 15 and I
uh,
liked this guy. And he said that I was too dark.
oh
And I was
man.
like,
Mm-mm.
he was like, I think you're pretty, but you're too dark. And I
What?
was like, you ain't that much lighter than me, but okay.
Right.
Um, and then he would end up going, he would go on to date like one of my homegirls from my high school. And it just still was baffling to me. And then years later, he complimented me and told me how attractive I was or whatever. And I was like, oh,
Did you
yeah,
bring it
remember
up?
when you said that I was too dark? He was like, I never said that. Have you seen my daughter and my baby mama? I was like, I know now. And she was ugly. But I can tell you one thing. This is what you said to me.
Right.
And I wouldn't make that up. Like
Right.
it was the weirdest thing. But I think also too, my mom teaching me early on about that is that's how I got my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
She was also
Absolutely.
pouring into me.
Yes.
Um, and so I always the personality that you see now, like this has always been me because of
Mm-hmm.
that. And I give her a lot of credit for that. And I don't know if she knows that. Mom, I adore you and I appreciate you
Shout out to
teaching me.
mamas. Yes.
And my
Doing it for
situation
their
is interesting
kids.
because my birth mom died. I was 6 months, and
Mm-hmm.
my aunt, my mom's sister raised me and my big sister. And so it was nice to have somebody one alter their entire life
Mm-hmm.
for us, and two to pour into us like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was really really dope, and I'm forever grateful for that because it's people, like I have friends that had parents like transition and their life was shit,
Yeah.
and you know people like, oh, you're arrogant, you're this and that. I'm like, nah, I know my value and I know my worth and I know what I'm looking at.
Hey, you
So
know what
I'm
I'm
like,
talking
if
about?
you don't enjoy it, that's cool. And I understand that I'm also not everybody's cup of tea. Everybody has what they like, and I respect that. But don't come at me saying no bullshit. Cause
Facts.
let's call a spade. And what
Facts.
I know
Facts. Talk about it.
is that, and I don't hold my value, like my worth isn't I don't need a man to solidify that for me.
Hmm.
I'm the shit with or without. You can just come in and compliment. So I think it's dope that you are pouring into your kids and letting them know that they are beautiful, they are smart, and
Hmm.
because everybody ain't, they can be, a lot of people can be cute,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a lot of people are not smart.
No.
They're not smart.
Common sense is not common, as they
It
say.
is it's unfortunately it's not.
Mm-mm.
And I think it's dope, especially when fathers, like pour back into their kids. And I mean, and I get it, like a lot of men are like, well, I'm a dad, like that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, it is. But
Hmm.
it's also nice to hear those conversations and see what parenting looks like for men, and black men in particular.
Absolutely.
um
And there's so many, and I hate the stereotype because there's so many dope fathers, black
yeah, I
men that
know
are out
so
here.
many.
And I really feel like, I'll be 40 in October, but I'm 39 right now, so
You a Libra or a Scorpio?
I'm a Scorpio.
Should
Scorpio.
know.
That's
You
how.
wouldn't want to be a Libra anyway.
There you
And
go.
I'm an air sign. I'm an Aquarius, and I'm saying that you
I,
wouldn't
I'm
want to.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know shit about the.
Of course,
I know I'm a
I feel like it's
Scorpio.
an air. I feel like it's an air sign thing.
People be like, you a Scorpio, so you sure. Mm-hmm. Yup. Uh-huh. Yeah, you right.
That is so funny. That's so
But
funny.
no, but I know something like all my I don't hang around and no deadbeats. I got some ain't shit nigga friends, but they're not deadbeats. And it's like
Yeah,
and most of us got daughters, but
yeah,
we
that's so funny. A lot of mine, they have daughters too, and I
yeah,
was like, karma.
right. But it's like I feel like our generation, like we really took like my dad was born in the 50s. He's from South Carolina. He passed away last
Mm.
year.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And he was old school. They didn't tell you they love you. They didn't give you a
Hmm.
bunch of hugs. They just, they knew how to provide for you and take care of you like that way. Make sure
Hmm.
you got your food and but they didn't have the tools to be emotional with you, tell you I love you, build you up. It was always tough love. And
Yeah,
I felt like our generation kind of took that and like, you know what? Yeah, you provided, and we saw that, but I need you to tell me I love you. I need the hugs. I need
yeah,
the reassurance. I need that. And so for me and my kids, it's really important for me to have just conversations with them, talking to
yeah.
them, not talking at them, but
Hmm.
talking with them. Like
Yeah,
they're little humans. They're not, yeah, there's a dynamic of I'm the daddy and you're supposed to do what I say and all these
yeah,
things. But
yeah,
having real conversations. And then when I fuss at them or yell at them, explaining while I'm fussing at them, walking them through why they thought that. Cause I used to tell my mom all the time, I wish y'all would explain stuff to me. Cause you remember how black parents are back in the day. Because I
wow,
said
yeah,
so, they took it as disrespect if you was
yeah,
asking a question.
yep,
And I'm like, I'm just trying to get understanding of what I did or what's wrong. I'm a little kid. I don't know why I did that. I just did it. And I talk to my kids, and I don't believe in spankings. I mean, I know that may be controversial, but I really don't. I feel like I take away things. I feel like I'm a disciplinarian, but I just don't feel like I should be hitting my kids.
yeah, no,
I grew up on
absolutely,
spankings. I'm typical. I got the belt, I got the race car track, all that shit, and whatever else. But I just don't believe in that. I believe in communication. I do
yeah,
believe in punishments. We take away stuff. You can't go here, do this, whatever. But I feel like I can. So far, I think my kids are doing okay as far as me communicating and talking to them. And they know when I'm pissed off. They know when I'm upset and I'm disappointed in it. Well, I
yeah.
see my 1-year-old. She just I'm
She's like,
obsessed with her.
I'm gonna pop you again, Dad.
Right, but my oldest, I'm really big on that, like talking to her. I talk to her a lot,
Yeah,
and communicating, and just explaining stuff to her.
yeah.
I don't know.
And it goes. It's funny because literally before we were talking, I was talking to my mom,
Mhm.
and we were having that conversation. I said, I think that the hang up is that people don't really communicate and explain certain things exactly like you said. Like I was telling her even the concept of her being an attorney, and more so in particular a juvenile attorney. So she comes into contact with so many different
Yeah.
people and walks of lives. And so like sexual activity, like sex is a big thing that Black people, I feel like it's just so taboo for us and we don't want to talk about.
Always.
And so I was like, I think the conversation I'm like, we're having conversations too late.
Mm-hmm.
And she always tells me how, like, oh yeah, like this kid person start having kids at like a certain age, and then next thing you know, like their kid comes into care, and they're 22, 23, and they don't know what freedom looks like because they had to be kids at super young age. They signed away their rights.
Yeah.
And so we were talking
Mhm.
about the idea of sex, having sex education conversations with kids at an earlier age. And people
Yeah.
feel like you're forcing, inappropriate conversation. I was
And
like,
it's
but no,
not.
it's
It's
not. It's the
not.
reality. It's what's happening. And
Yeah.
even when it comes to molestation, I was like, we have to explain to kids that we have pleasure points on our body. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody may touch you inappropriately that should not be touching you, and it feels good. But you are too young to be experience this. And this should not be happening at the hands of a
Right.
relative.
Right.
So they can decipher it, so they can really understand
Man, what's going on?
what's going on, and to be
And
able to communicate this to you.
and that's so so many in our community that's hush hush. Oh, that's the uncle that no, that's not acceptable. First off, and then
Yeah.
that's the uncle or the aunt and did whatever, and they just kind of keep it hush hush, or you still gotta be around that relative that was doing that to you, and it's like what
And how come we don't exile people when they do that? Like, you should be
man, like
exiled. You should be excommunicated from the family. Like, I'm being
dude,
honest.
like
If it
that should
comes,
be like if somebody touched my kids, hey, we're not there ain't no conversation.
it's
It's
no conversation.
none. Hey, get my bail money ready because it's going down. Like
Yep.
that's just I ain't no way in hell. And anybody that condones that is getting cut off too. You're not gonna no. You're not gonna tell me that. Whatever.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, yo, like I'm just being real. Like, it's a lot of shit that we be letting slide. And I'm like, why? Why?
Why? Because we've
You
been
know,
conditioned to that. That's what we taught. We're taught that,
yeah.
and I feel like that's the good thing about that's one of the positives about social media is we're having conversations so fast and we're exposed to so much thing and people are like, oh my god, I had that experience too, and it's
Yeah.
quick, it's instant, and now we're
Yep.
starting to have these conversations and it's like, okay, damn, that was jacked up, like kind of like with R. Kelly.
Yep.
Like I grew up on R. Kelly, I was in the 90s, but I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think, oh, he messed with a little girl, like, okay, I didn't, plus I was young enough to really grasp and
Understand.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But as an adult, you're like,
But I
damn,
feel like they didn't really tell us, like, oh, they didn't, like, when the video, oh, you see the video of him peeing on that, that
yeah.
woman. And so it was like, nobody said that this was like a 15 or 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, like it just was like, oh, and people was like running to buy the tape, and I'm like,
Yep.
and even at that time, like we shouldn't be watching. This is not good. Like we shouldn't be watching this. But it was like, and then now in 22, it's like, damn, that was fucked up. Like what the fuck? And he got these songs talking about this shit. This nigga is disgusting. It's like, wow. And
Yep.
it's like, damn, we was listening to that shit. We was vibing to that shit. And it's like, oh my god. And it's like, but I feel like that's what social media has done. It's
Yeah.
like it's really forced these conversations. It's like we're re-examining everything that's a societal norm, and it's like,
Yep.
nah, this ain't right. This don't make sense. So
None whatsoever. And I think that's also the dope thing. And it's also still interesting to see how people navigate the idea of even R. Kelly. Like, I
yeah,
blocked somebody. It's certain games I just don't play.
yeah, yeah,
And that's one of them. And it was somebody I was really fucking cool with. And when Bill Cosby had gotten out, she had made a comment like, "Oh, R. Kelly, we getting you out next." I said, Are you serious?" She was like, "Yeah."
mm,
But I knew some shit had happened where she could have been sexually, assaulted.
yeah,
And it that situation alone, like, I was like, "You're an idiot. I can control
Yeah,
what I see, and I don't need to see this."
yeah.
And recently, like, she hit me up on like my podcast page, and I was like, she's like, "Oh, did you deactivate your Instagram, like your main Instagram and your Facebook? I couldn't find you." I said, "Oh
Mm,
no, sweetie, you blocked."
mm,
And she was like, "Why?" And I said, "Because you said this, and
mhm.
it's trigger warning for me." So you, I'm like, and it should be for you as well.
It should
But
be,
hey,
right.
I was like, "Hey, you good?" I was like, it's no beef. I just don't allow
Mhm.
energy. And if that's what you represent, I don't need to be associated and affiliated with you. And it's
Facts.
just that simple for me.
Facts. Yeah, and especially stuff like if certain things that hit home to folks, and they
Yeah.
maybe joking it, or just that a mentality that's just not aligning with you. You do have to kind of cut that off quickly. And then, I was so disappointed when I was on Facebook and when Bill Cosby was going through what he was going through, and some people like the black man and all this stuff. It's like y'all,
The nigga was drugging bitches.
yeah, like that's not rocket science. Like,
Yeah, he was
and it's
drugging
like,
bitches.
yeah, and
Bitches
it's
that
like,
we know. I'm sorry, by the way, because I know your wife is watching. Sorry.
well,
But I'm like, that we know would have fucked willingly. And you drugged them. What kind of weird freako I fuck corpses like type shit is that? That's
but
like
it's a
weird.
a power trip. That's
Yeah.
a power ego power trip, because it's like that's just a power thing, whatever. Because there's a lot of men in positions that have access to women, but they do this because the
Drink
power trip
yours.
they going on. But like I said, I was just so disappointed in so many people,
Yeah.
just bigging up, and I'm like, and then they bringing up the white man. It's like, and this is what we were talking about earlier. And it's about the black man. It's like a lot of times y'all act like you just want to have the impunity like white men.
Yeah.
You want
That
to
and
have
just
that power.
really say it.
You want to
Say it.
have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be like the white man, raping and pillaging with no consequences and no accountability for your actions. And it's like, no. Like, yes, Harvey Weinstein is a piece of shit, and Kevin Spacey, they're all pieces of shit.
Uh-huh.
R.
Uh-huh.
Kelly's a piece of shit. But that don't mean R. Kelly don't need to be in jail. That's not a hard concept. Yes, unfortunately, sometimes the white man, like I say, sometimes a lot of times the white man get away with a lot of shit, and that's
Yep.
sucks because this is a white man's world. But that don't absolve R. Kelly of what he's doing, or Bill Cosby, or anybody else. And I said, like, how you sound like, and then y'all talk about, well, if that was my daughter, why does it have to be somebody related to you? Like, that's a human being. It's not hard. If they're mistreating people, they need to be in jail. I don't care who,
Exactly.
I don't care what color they are, or whoever. They ain't got to do me
It's
bashing a black man. That it's whatever.
it's honestly like it's really that simple. And it even like the whole situation with like the school shooting and like people like Ted Cruz. I was like, okay, somebody need to start banging on these niggas, because I feel like if it was your kid, like just think about that for that aspect. Like if somebody sexually assaulted your child, and the rage, all the things that go through your mind, like you said, get my bail money ready. And
Right.
I feel like that's what happens. Like a lot of people like that proximity through
Absolutely.
whiteness. And so, and
Absolutely.
realizing that at the end of the day, this don't wash off. This
Nah,
don't go away. And your
nah.
sentencing is a lot harder. So you better tread lightly, my friend.
Your black
Like
ass
I
ain't
really
getting away
believe
with
in
that
that.
shit. Whatever you
Man.
think you're doing. I don't care how much, even the money, because we didn't seen R. Kelly had money, Bill Cosby had money.
Yep.
You're not them. So you can go on with that shit. I mean, you shouldn't be doing it regardless, money or whatever. You shouldn't be doing it. But you're not gonna. You may not get the harshest sentence, but your black ass going to jail. You gonna get punished because
Yeah.
you a
Oh
nigga.
yeah.
You a nigga. You
You
gonna be
better
a
hope they
nigga.
don't beat your ass in there and take you out,
Man, look. Man, look.
because we know it's even harsher for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whew,
Absolutely.
okay. So super quick before we get out of here,
All right.
there's been a lot of, and again, I am not a sports analyst. I am a spectator. I say this
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
All the time. I enjoy watching the game of basketball, and Today there was this whole debate with because Kevin Durant had retweeted
Oh
something like a
Lord.
clip of something that like Skip had said, saying that, you know, Michael Jordan has like made the game of basketball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Stephen A. Smith came out with that. Yeah, and
yeah. And so I wanna know like your take, like, because I feel like sometimes I feel like people are, when it comes to trolling, I feel like niggas, I mean, everybody now, because of Twitter and social media in general,
mhm.
people have level certain access to whoever,
Everybody. Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
and so everybody has a hot take or opinion. But
Hmm.
I feel like, just like how we feel like Twitter is entertainment,
Hmm.
I feel like Durant, everybody else also feel like that as well, and can have healthy debates. But I feel like he in particular gets it the hardest.
Yeah. Well, I thing about Kevin Durant is, and it's twofold. It's two things. One, Kevin Durant is sensitive. He's a sensitive guy.
Okay.
He's a very sensitive guy, and I think a lot of people are. A lot of people. I'm sensitive. You know, I'm a sensitive person too.
Okay.
But I also think too, he's saying, you know, I want to control the narrative. A lot of times y'all say stuff and it's just not true, and you're not going to lie on my name. And sometimes I feel like if I was in that position, maybe I would say a lot more. You know,
Yeah.
maybe I would be caught up in it. You know, and now he was whack for the burner account. That's some lame ass shit. I mean, what? I mean, you got hundreds of millions.
But here's the funny thing even about that. What if he just really didn't give a fuck and was like, you know what, I'm finna say this shit and I'm finna speak about myself in third person and just let it ride and be that.
That shit whack. You too rich
I
for
mean,
that shit. Look, it's a balance of, I get it in the sense of you have emotions, you have, and I'm big on that. Like these athletes, you know, entertainers, whatever, you know, musicians, they're people. They don't
yeah,
deserve to be disrespected, just like anybody else.
right,
But
right.
at the same time, there's a level of, you kind of just kind of gotta let some of that go, some of it. If you want to clap back, I get it. Like I ain't mad at it. But when people see that you're always going to be sensitive, they're going to keep trying to go at you to get a reaction. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I feel like, another example, LeBron James. LeBron has got whole networks all day, every day trolling him. You don't hear nothing from him. You know, and like I said, it's two different people. Like LeBron's
yeah,
like, I'm above all that. I don't really care. Like, you know, Skip Bayless has literally made a career off hating LeBron.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, and he never says nothing. And I respect that, because it's like, you know, he catches hell from, you know, you got whole Facebook groups of old retired dudes that ain't never did in their life hate LeBron. It's like, you know, like I said, I'm not the hugest LeBron fan, but you know, my energy, I don't hate him at all. This nigga built a school. How am I gonna hate LeBron?
Yeah, I'm like, the nigga been to school.
Right, he built a school. Like this nigga, he want your kids to learn. Nigga, like, what is you mad about? You are too old for that, Marvin. Go back to work. Your
Not
mortgage is due.
Marvin. You
Marvin,
know,
your mortgage is due.
I think the thing is that people, I think I'm not gonna say sensitive. I think that people are surprised, one, that this person has enough time, because
Mhm.
people have different hobbies too.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say that he is, you know, or anybody in general or whatever, because like everybody has their day, Matt Barnes drove 90 minutes to
absolutely.
go pounce on Derek Fisher.
Yeah,
Still hilarious to this day, by the way.
absolutely. And they
But
made up this shit.
I think that that's like the interesting thing is just like we say, okay, well, this person might not ever see this, and that's how people kind of
Yeah, yeah,
tweet
definitely,
sometimes based on
definitely.
that. Which still, yeah, I be tweeting you. I know you see that shit. Stop fucking playing with me, bro. It's a lot of my DMs. So I
Come
feel
on.
like people feel.
I feel the
Hey,
same way about Rihanna. I've been trying to, I tell her, but you know, she got pregnant on me, so
I
it is
know.
what it is.
which it's just still. I still never mind. That's a whole conversation for another day.
Hold up.
I don't take niggas out the friend zone, and I'm keeping it a buck with you. It's a no for me. Because with that, I'm gonna have to have you back for that. Because that's never take a nigga out the friend zone. Because
I'm
my
ready.
experience with that shit, niggas get an ego.
Mm.
But we ain't gonna stay there. But I feel like a lot of times people are just like shocked because we don't know like what this person day entails. Like now for him, like it's the off season or I have a
Mhm.
day off and so I'm just
Right.
interacting with people
People,
or
yeah.
whatever, and it's a conversation that we're just having, and
Mhm.
then you want to add extras, and I feel like it's certain things like I feel like people have to let go of certain things. Like
Yeah,
I'm tired of
absolutely.
seeing the conversation on my timeline. Oh, he left this team to go do this, or
Yeah,
LeBron did this and that. And I'm like, dog, like who fucking cares?
yeah,
Like
that's fair.
what they do is what they eat. Does it make you shit?
You're right.
Like, so
Yeah,
let it
yeah.
go.
And that's kind of my philosophy too. Is like like I said, and it just like for me, it's just a respect thing. Like I'm not finna just go talk crazy to Kevin Durant just cause like I don't care. He don't care about me. I don't know him. He don't know me. That's not
Right,
my
right.
thing. And like I said, the internet, a lot of these dudes, like I said, lames, whack ass
Yeah.
dudes. They want to poke. They want
Yep.
to poke the bear. They want Kevin Durant to say something crazy to him, and it's like that's just lame. And y'all grown. Like you got a mortgage and shit. You got like stop, bro.
it's
Stop.
it's funny because like even I remember you remember the hot take with that Channing Crowder said about Future
Yeah.
and
Oh my
the
god,
Russell.
these niggas.
So interesting enough, I posted maybe like a terrible photo of him. I don't think it was from his rookie year or
Yeah,
whatever. I
yeah,
posted on my podcast page
yeah.
and I tagged him. You know that nigga sent me a message. And so we're
Mm,
going back and forth having a dialogue about what that even entails and what that means. And I'm
mhm.
like, so what you saying is that it sounds like you're projecting.
They are. They are.
A lot of them are projected. And I
Yeah.
was just like, well, and when he was trying to give me the breakdown of what a square is and how a lot of athletes be square, I'm like, nigga, you talking about yourself, bro. Like
Bro,
you are digging a hole.
talk
And then
about
when I
it.
told him that he didn't want to talk no more, I'm like, okay, boom, I got you. Like
Right.
it really be like, but I didn't think in a
Yeah.
million years
Yeah,
that
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 he would
nigga
say
would see
something
that
to you.
shit. I
Yeah.
was like, and then he untagged himself on the post. I was like, I didn't think you was really gonna see it. And if you got this energy, yo, I need the engagement. Say this shit under the actual post.
Right, right, right. That's
I'm like,
funny.
numbers matter, man. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
that following up, get these brand
trying to
deals.
get that Uncle Nearest. Come on, Uncle Nearest.
Okay, okay.
I'm trying to get
But
that.
Will, I want to have you back. This was such a dope conversation.
Yeah,
And so much will probably have happened down the line. And yeah, we definitely have to do this again. And I know we
yeah.
both have a finals game to get to.
Yes, yes,
It's halftime, and I appreciate
yes.
you allowing me to take up a little over an hour of your
Hey,
time.
it's all like I tell you. If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be on Twitter right now. Like I tell you, I really don't have a life. Kind of a loser. I neglect my family sometimes for Twitter. So Twitter is life. I'm just playing. But no, like I said, I appreciate you having me. This is like I said, it's my first time ever doing a podcast. So
You
I'm
have
always
interesting
available.
takes. I'm gonna be screenshotting in the future. I was like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm like,
I
okay,
know.
I'm sending you this because when we do the next episode, I
Yeah.
need to bring this back up. But tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
I'm on Twitter. It's Mr. G54 MRGEE54. And then I'm on Instagram, just Chill Will 1982. So follow me. Most of the time I'm joking. I can give you a little bit of seriousness, and we was pretty serious tonight. So
Yeah, we were. I
we
didn't
was pretty
I
serious.
didn't anticipate that. I wanted this to be a ratchet episode, by the way.
Hey,
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, this shit finna be ratchet, and then it
right.
was like,
I was like trying
oh.
to get my like, man, I gotta be funny, I gotta joke, and then we were just kind of
No,
like
I
not
really I
serious.
did
So
want ratchet, but that's the dope thing about the conversation. The conversation just kind of leads on its own, and it
yeah,
takes us down different winding roads.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like this is also a side, like like a lot of people might not even know or know about you. So it's really
Yeah.
dope. So that's why this is here.
Yay.
Yay. Um,
Yay.
so I just want to remind everybody we got the candles. I know I said I was gonna start updating my website part, like the blog part. I'm really gonna start doing that because I be having stuff like running through my mind sometimes, and just even posting like random one-off videos outside
Hmm.
of the store. But that's Saint Dash Angelus, and that's SAINT dash Angelus ANGELES.com. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. And honestly, I'm saying that because the algorithm sucks. So if you see something of mine that you like, especially on IG, please like it, comment under it, because the algorithm will recognize that this is something that you want to see and content that you want to see. And it will start to reappear and also add me to your favorites. And that's all I got for y'all. And I will see y'all here next week.
Thank you again.